So we thought we would start by having this conversation where we take stock of the region. We understand the implications of the costing that is currently ongoing in the different countries of the Regional Indicative Strategic Plan, but also understand some of the implications that the current region faces in terms of resource mobilization, the SADC Vision 2050. And so we thought, let's have this workshop, understand that, have the resource people attend, have all the cohorts to the training also attend, so that we customize the modules in such a way that they respond appropriately to your needs. So with that much to do, let me introduce Dennis Rweyemamu, who is currently heading the Policy and Strategy Development Unit at the SADC Secretariat. He's an economist by training with vast knowledge and experience in development policy. Prior to joining SADC Secretariat, Dennis worked with various policy think tanks in Tanzania as a researcher and with the African Development Bank as a sector specialist in the Tanzania Country Office. We have requested Dennis to give us a sense of the SADC Vision 2050, as well as the Regional Indicative Strategic Development Plan overview. Dennis, over to you.
Thank you, Professor Moyo, and greetings from the SADC Secretariat to all the participants. I will be presenting these very high-level frameworks, as Professor said, just for the participants to appreciate what we want to do, what we want to achieve as a community, and it will be quite a very brief presentation. So I'm trying to share, but I don't know if technology is allowing me to do so. Okay. So someone is sharing for me, I believe. So SADC's Vision 2050 and RISDP 2020-2030. Okay, so SADC's Vision 2050 and the Regional Indicative Strategic Development Plan 2020-2030. That's really what I want to present. And it's a very brief presentation. The outline is really a very brief introduction. I'll have a slide on the vision. I'll have a few slides on the RISDP, the Regional Indicative Strategic Development Plan, and finally a conclusion. Now, to start with the vision, the process of formulating actually started way back in 2012, following a decision by member states that we need to develop a SADC Vision 2050. We didn't have that in place. And this vision is basically a framework which identifies where the region wants to be by 2050. So that's like 28 years from now. But it's grounded in an original vision statement, which is contained in the SADC Treaty. So there was a vision statement in the SADC Treaty, which speaks to a common culture, a future in a regional community that will ensure economic well-being, improvement of the standards of living and quality of life, freedom and social justice, and peace and security for the people of the Southern African region. That was what was contained in the original vision statement, which is contained in the SADC Treaty. Now, the Regional Indicative Strategic Development Plan 2020-2030 is a 10-year strategic plan whose purpose is much the same as the first iteration of the strategic plan which we had, which was RISDP 2005-2020. This was a 15-year strategic plan. But this one now represents an attempt to lay out how SADC can best move towards realizing the vision over the next 10 years. So what is actually contained in the vision? By 2050, SADC envisions a peaceful, inclusive, middle to high income industrialized region where all citizens enjoy sustainable economic well-being, justice, and freedom. So issues of peace, inclusivity, middle to high income in the sense that already some countries, some member states have attained the middle income status, so they will be actually aspiring to go to the high income bracket. Industrialization, again, which is quite key, where citizens enjoy sustainable economic well-being, justice, and freedom. The vision is based on a firm foundation of peace, security, and democratic governance. So that comes first as the foundation. And it is premised around 3 pillars. 1, industrial development and market integration. 2, infrastructure development. 3, social and human capital. Those are the 3 main pillars for which the vision is premised on. And then, of course, we have the cross-cutting issues, which include gender, youth, environment, climate change, and disaster risk management, all of which are quite important in the SADC context. So basically, that is the structure of the vision. And in each of these areas, you have specific objectives which need to be, which we aspire to achieve by 2050. And I won't go into those details. The Regional Indicative Strategic Development Plan 2020-2030, as I said earlier, provides a coherent and comprehensive 10-year development agenda on social, economic, peace, security, political, and governance issues. It represents an attempt to lay out how we move towards the vision in the next 10 years. As I said, it builds on the achievements of the RISDP 2005-2020, which was a 10-year strategic plan, which became operational in 2005 and was revised in 2015. So some people may have heard of the revised RISDP 2015-2020, which was a 5-year strategic plan, but which was really part of the 15-year plan. It takes into consideration challenges which were experienced so as to ensure lessons and effective practices are captured and applied in future challenges. So in developing this new strategic plan, challenges experienced were considered. The global, continental, and regional context around which priority areas are identified were also considered. And it also reflects on developments in technology, geopolitics of migration, and SADC's development partner landscape. All these are issues which were considered when preparing this 10-year strategic plan. Now, very quickly, I'm not going to go into the details, but for each and every section, I want to capture a little bit of details in terms of what the specific objectives. So the RISDP covers 6 strategic priorities. The first 4, of course, the first 5, of course, are basically a reflection of what we have in the vision. So we have the foundation, peace, security, and good governance, which is the foundation. We have pillar 1, industrial development and market integration. We have pillar 2, infrastructure development in support of regional integration. We have pillar 3, social and human capital development, and we have the cross-cutting issues. But in the RISDP, of course, we also have this strategic area, which we call strategic management of RISDP, which is important as it is an acknowledgement that SADC needs to make some fundamental changes if it is to achieve the regional integration agenda it has set for itself. And in each of these priority areas, the RISDP provides strategic objectives, outcomes, and intervention areas. Now, very quickly, just some ideas of what are the specific objectives, the strategic objectives in each of these areas. So we start with the foundation, peace, security, and good governance, and democratic governance. There we have 3 strategic objectives. 1, enhance conflict prevention, management, and resolution, which is key. With early warning systems that are capable of tracking and monitoring political, security, and socioeconomic threats. So that's 1. 2, strengthen political cooperation, enhance democracy, good governance, rule of law, human rights, and human security. The common issues as far as good governance is concerned. And then 3, an enhanced collective defense and security system that is capable of safeguarding the territorial integrity of the region. So we want to enhance that as well. A collective defense and security system has always been in place. It has worked in several areas. It's now working in Mozambique, but we want to enhance that. So those are the three strategic objectives under the foundation of peace, security, and good governance. Pillar 1, industrial development and market integration. And there we have 6 strategic objectives. An industrialized regional economy, key, again, industrialization. A transformed agricultural sector, agriculture being a key sector. Number 3, interconnected, integrated, competitive blue, green, and circular economies that are sustainably developed for the benefit of all the SADC citizens. 4 is a deepened regional market, which is connected into the continental and global markets. So we're talking of the African continental free trade area, but we want to deepen, first of all, what we have at the regional level so that we can connect to these continental and global markets. 5 is a deepened financial market integration, monetary cooperation and investment. And 6, enhanced stability, macroeconomic stability. So these 3 specific objectives are actually sort of reinforcing each other. You need to have deepened financial market integration for you to have a deepened regional market. And of course, you need to have some level of macroeconomic convergence if at all we are to achieve a regional market, because you can't have some countries having, let's say, very high levels of growth and low levels of inflation in the same group as other countries which have very low levels of growth and high levels of inflation. Pillar number 2, infrastructure development in support of industrialization and regional integration. And there we have 3 specific objectives which we want to achieve. Number 1 is quality, interconnected, integrated, and seamless infrastructure and networks. 2, we have improved capacity of conceptualization, design, and construction, maintenance, and operation of the regional infrastructure and services. And 3, increased access to affordable infrastructure and services. So infrastructure, again, is a key component in the RISDP. The 3rd pillar is social and human capital development. And here we have issues of strengthened and harmonized regional health systems. We have issues of improved food and nutrition security. We have issues of increased access to quality and relevant education and skills development, including science and technology. We have issues of job creation with decent work opportunities and full and productive employment. And lastly, we have enhanced living conditions of the people through the promotion of sustainable cities in the region. These are the specific objectives we are looking into as far as Pillar 3 is concerned on social and human capital development. And then the cross-cutting issues. Again, we have several objectives there. Enhanced gender equality. We have a robust, the need for a robust and responsive regional statistical system. Statistics, quite important, also falls under the cross-cutting issues. Improved youth empowerment and participation. Strengthened climate change adaptation and mitigation. Improved disaster risk management in support of regional resilience. Sustainable utilization and conservation of natural resources, and improved access to quality HIV and AIDS services. So those are some of the issues which are covered under this area of cross-cutting issues. As I said earlier, we have something which specifically addresses the issue of the management of the RISDP itself. So SADC understands that undertakes to achieve the following objectives in this area. First of all, enhanced institutional effectiveness and efficiency. And then there's the whole issue of financing, which I think is really the area of this workshop, sustainable financing for the regional integration agenda, how it's to be achieved. And then we have issues of monitoring, evaluation, and reporting, quite key. And then we have visibility and awareness of SADC, its activities and impact to all member states and globally. I mean, one of the critiques has been that SADC is not really known to the citizens in the region, so visibility and awareness is quite key. And then lastly, we have enhanced living conditions of the people through the promotion of sustainable cities This one, I think, is a typo. So was not supposed to be reflected here. It's supposed to be reflected under Pillar 3, which is social and human development. So in a nutshell, those are the areas which are covered by the RISDP. And in conclusion, let me just say that RISDP will contribute towards the realization of SADC's ultimate goal, which is improvement of the standard and quality of life of the people in the region. That's the ultimate goal. We have to ensure that all resources are mobilized and directed toward the agreed priorities. But preparation of the RISDP was not an end by itself, but a process that was followed by preparation of a comprehensive 5-year medium-term strategies. So besides the 10-year strategy, we have 5-year medium-term strategies. And similarly, we have annual operational plans outlining the activities, financial and human resources, as well as organizational requirements every year. And as I said, M&E is quite key, so the RISDP will benefit from periodic reviews in order to respond better to the dynamics of a changing world and the interest of the region's diverse constituencies. And lastly, given the strategic priority areas which have been earmarked, the implementation arrangements which have been laid out, coupled with the commitment of leadership at the highest level, we begin that SADC is poised to excel. So that brings me to the end of this very brief presentation of these high-level frameworks. The frameworks themselves can be found on the SADC website, but those are the links there. The strategic plan, the RISDP, has an annex, which is the detailed implementation plan, which has also been approved by Summit. And of course, after that, we went into the exercise of costing this RISDP, this 10-year strategic plan. And I think the next presentation will sort of give more highlights into the costing exercise and the preliminary estimates which we have. Chair and participants, thank you very much for your attention, and that brings me to the end of my presentation.
Thank you very much, Dennis, for this insightful presentation. I think, Your Excellencies, you'll agree with me that the SADC integration agenda is really massive. It requires all hands on deck, especially for us in Africa emerging out of the pandemic, almost emerging out of the pandemic. But there are looming challenges as a result of climate change, food insecurity, migration, biodiversity, among others. And all these have implications on all the pillars that Dennis has just presented.